Jai Shri Gurudev. Today we are going to discuss about the story, the lesson, second lesson, that is 2 Dear in the English language subject for the second PUC students. It is written by Leo Tolstoy. This is a short story. It is written by Leo Tolstoy. He was a Russian writer. He was a Russian writer. He has written so many short stories and novels. We always remember him mainly because of his two longest novels. They are War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Okay, and this person is he lived between 1828 and 1910. This is the period in which he lived. And the another thing is that he was the master of realistic fiction. Master of realistic fiction. Fiction means they are novels. He was the person known as the greatest novelist in the world. Greatest novelist in the world. He has written a novel which is having the autobiographical touch in 3 volumes, in 3 different books he has written. First one is related to childhood, second one is boyhood, and the third one is youth. Okay, youth. These were having these were 3 different books. They had autobiographical touch. That's why he became very famous. At the age of around 28, he started to write the stories and novels. He became very popular in the history of literature. Okay, and we always remember him mainly because of his moralistic and spiritual, okay, that is the spiritual views. In his novels we can find morality and something related to spirituality. This is something related to spirituality. Okay, these are the certain things, important things that we have to know about the writer Leo Tolstoy, because some elements are always make us to bother about the lesson 2 Dear. In this one, we mainly focus on morality. Okay, if a person is ruling a country, how he has to be? Okay, anyone cannot be a good ruler. He cannot be a good king for his men, for his people in that country. How he goes on failing in the administration of all the affairs of his kingdom, how he is going to fail, whether it is a big country or a small country. Okay, if a ruler is there for that country, being the head of that country, how he should be moralistic, how he should be rational, That is also going to be taught in the lesson 2 Dear. 2 Dear means very expensive. very expensive. That is the meaning of this phrase. Okay. Now we are going to understand what is the story all about in 2DL. Okay, so let us read the lesson and understand it. Especially when we are dealing with this story, we will consider if a person is not having morality and rationality, how it is going to be expensive. It means how each and every decision of a king is going to become expensive, that we are going to understand. Let me read the story and explain to you to make you familiar with the concept morality and rationality. That should be the base for a king to rule the country. Okay. Near the borders of France and Italy, on the shore of the Mediterranean Sea, lies a tiny little kingdom called Monaco. Many a small country town can boast more inhabitants than this kingdom. For there are only about 7,000 of them all told, and if all the land in kingdom were divided, there would not be an acre for each inhabitant. But in this toy kingdom, there is a real kinglet, and he has a palace, and courtiers, and ministers, and bishops, and generals, and an army. Okay. Now, he first tells about the thing that is related to a place called Monaco. Okay. Monaco is a country which lies at the borders of France and Italy. Okay. It is at the borders of France and Italy. This is one thing. And another thing is, it is on the shore of Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea. Okay. And here in this country, it is a very small country. That's why it is always called as toy kingdom. It is a very small kingdom, or small country. That's why it is called as toy kingdom. The next thing is, in that country there are only 7,000 people. Population is only 7,000. Okay. If you divide the entire nation for each and every person, each person may not get even more than an acre. Less than 1 acre of land is there for each and every person in that country. If you compare this kingdom to any other country, it looks like it is not bigger than even a small area in a country. Take for example Mysore. Mysore is a city. Okay, don't bother about the entire administrative area, the revenue land which is there under the Mysore administration. Let us not consider so much. If you take for example only this city, this area in which how many people are there, how much area is there, if you take that, it is, this country is not even equal to Mysore city. Okay. And sometimes if you compare the one extension in a city, this country, Monaco, is not equal to an extension in a city. That much smaller it is. That's why it is always called as toy kingdom. And it has got only 7,000 people. And if you divide the entire land, each person of that country, each citizen is going to get not even 1 acre of land. Such a country is having a kinglet. Such a country is having a kinglet, that is nothing but a ruler. This fellow is also having so many people under his administration. He is having a palace, okay? He is having a palace. He is having ministers, courtiers, okay, and general, soldiers. It does nothing but he is also having an army. All these things are there. That's why it is considered as the country. It is considered as a country. Now, this country is in further if I go on explaining about this, as the writer described about this country, there are a lot of things to understand. It is not a large army, only 60 men in all, but still it is an army. This army is having only 60 men, 60 soldiers are there. Still, it is an army. Still, it is considered as an army. There are also taxes in this kingdom as elsewhere. A tax on tobacco and on wine and spirits and a poll tax. Okay. The king also levies taxes. He is having the tax system because if he has to rule his kingdom, if he has to feed his men who are in the administration, like ministers, courtiers, general, bishop, army, all these people, if he has to feed them, he needs money. He should earn some money. For that, he is having a tax system. He is having a tax system. From this tax system, he is always getting some money, some revenue he is generating. What are the products he is taxing? He is levying taxes on them, like tobacco, okay, and the second one is wine, spirit. The fourth one is poll tax. Fourth one is poll tax. See the products, if you think, these are all harmful to the health of the society. They are not good for the society. Still, these products are taxed. It means these products are encouraged to get sold in the country by the king. And the fourth one, if you see, that is poll tax. Poll tax is nothing but a person, a civilian, a citizen, he must pay tax in order to get the rights in the country. He has to have the power to vote, to survive there, to live there as a citizen. Okay, as a native person, he must live there. To live there, he should pay tax. Only then he will have the rights to stay there, to live there, to reside there as a resident of that particular country. That's why the poll tax system is also there in that country. The next thing is, but though the people they drink and smoke as people do in other countries, there are so few of them that the prince would have been hard put to it to feed his courtiers and officials and to keep himself. Okay, so we have to understand this very clearly, because on this basis only, on this point only, everything, the story continues further. He is getting some money from that, from the tax system, by taxing, by levying taxes on these products. He is getting money. This money, whatever he is getting, that is not sufficient for feeding all the people who are there in his administration, who are assisting the king to rule that country. Army is there certainly for security reason. He needs general must be there in order to control the army. Courtiers, they must be there to give him suggestion, to give him ideas, to improve the country, to develop the country. They must be there. And to look after the individual affairs of the country. There are so many different kinds of affairs. Okay, finance, revenue, health, education. So many departments will be there. To look after each and every department, there should be a minister. They are going to give advice. They are going to assist the king in total to rule that country. To feed all these people, he needs money. That money, what he is getting from the tax system on the products like tobacco, wine, spirit, poll tax, that is not sufficient. Okay, he is not getting the sufficient amount for balancing the income and expenditure of his country. And finally, after spending on all these people, he should also keep some money. For that also, it is not sufficient. Very less, a meager amount he is getting, even though he is having the tax system in his country. That's why what he is doing, he has found a special source of revenue. He has identified a special source of revenue in order to balance the income and expenditure of his country. This special source, this special revenue comes from a gaming house where people play roulette. Okay, what is this special source of revenue? It is nothing but gaming house. Gaming house. The name itself is indicating what is going to happen there in the gaming house. People go and play the game. Some game they are going to play there. They are going to bet on each and every game they are going to play, and they are going to win or lose. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. Whether people are going to win or lose, but the king must get the income. That is the special source of revenue. This special source of revenue from gaming house is bigger than the money what he is making from the tax system. Okay. What is the kind of game they are going to play there in the gaming house? That is nothing but roulette. This is the game. R-O-U-L-E-T-T-E. This is the game they are going to play there in the gaming house. People play, and whether they win or lose, the keeper always gets a percentage on the turnover, and out of his profits, he pays a large sum to the prince. Here, the people are going to play the game as I told you already. Some people win, some people lose. Okay, the gaming house keeper is there now. This fellow, he has to run the show. He is going to manage all the affairs. The people are going to bet on each and every game. At that time, he will collect that money, and to the winner, he pays some amount. The loser is going to lose the money, that he is not going to get money. Whether the people are going to win or lose, this person, he is going to get a percentage. Get a percentage on each and every game they are playing in the gaming house. And out of this some money he is going to get. And out of this percentage, large sum will be going to the prince. Large sum, the keeper is not going to the keeper is not going to keep the full amount what he is going to earn from this gaming house. He has to pay a large sum to the prince, that is to the kinglet. Only a small amount, smaller portion, the keeper is going to keep it for himself. Why he does that? Why he is going to pay large sum to the king? That is very important. Because the reason he pays so much is that it is the only such gambling establishment left in Europe. Remember, this gaming house is there, no? This is the only gaming house you find in entire Europe. It is not that only one country is there in entire Europe. Okay? There are so many other countries. All the other countries do not have the gaming house in their countries. People cannot go to gaming house in their countries. They don't run the gaming house at all. Okay? Now, if they don't keep the gaming house, why this fellow, the keeper, has to pay the prince a larger sum? What is the connection between that? It means only this kingdom of Monaco has given permission to run the gaming house in his country. If he doesn't get money, if the prince doesn't get money from this gaming house, he is not going to permit the keeper to keep the gaming house. He is going to ban it. He is going to remove it. He will not allow anybody to run the business. With the help of his army, he is going to stop it. Okay? That is what will happen if the keeper doesn't give him a large sum to the prince. That's why always he is giving a large sum to the prince. Another important thing that we have to know, why the other countries do not have the gaming houses in their country. Some of the little German sovereigns used to keep gaming houses of the same kind, but some years ago they were forbidden to do so. Okay, in other countries like Germany is a country. It is not that only Germany, many other countries like Italy, France, Britain, okay, Greece, there are so many, Greece, and there are so many other countries, all of them are not having the gaming house in their country. Because first time German sovereigns banned it, stopped it. They did not permit anyone to go to gaming house, or they did not give permission to run a gaming house. What happened what made them to forbid? What made them to forbid the gaming house? That is, the reason they were stopped was because these gaming houses did so much harm. The gaming houses in those countries did a lot of harm to the people. If the people are harmed, if they are losing, if they are spoiled, if they are losing their life, that is the ultimate maximum consequence that can happen to the people in a country. Maximum harm this gaming house did in the respective countries of Europe. What is the kind of harm they did? Usually, a man would come and try his luck, then he would risk all he had and lose it. Then he would even risk money that did not belong to him and lose that too. And then in despair, he would drown or shoot himself. What is the harm? The people used to go to the gaming houses in different countries of Europe. There, they were losing the money. Okay, you should remember, the people have to bet on each game. Either they win or lose, the keeper has to get some percentage. That is the commission. Each time the people started to lose the money, that is only the keeper is getting money. Finally, what the people used to face, they were always losing the money. Whatever the money they had of their own, that was also lost. Next, when they did not have money to bet once again, to continue to play the game in the gaming houses, they used to get the money from others. Maybe on interest they were getting the money. That money was also again they were losing. And when the loan, when the burden increased on the people who played the game in the gaming houses, what they used to do? They were killing themselves. They were killing themselves. Either they were going to sea and die, or they were shooting themselves. Like that, they were killing themselves. When the rulers observed that, they decided to stop the gaming houses in their country. It is not good at all. Each time if the people are lost, if their people are getting killed, that is not a good sign for any country. Human resource for any country is an asset. If they don't have good human resource, if they don't have the people only in the country is not going to be a country at all. It will become a desert one day. Okay, the rulers will not be there, the king will not be there, the people will not be there. It is going to become an empty land. It will become an empty land. This would be the consequence if they each time lose the people. Okay, this is the dangerous thing, harmful thing. It was happening to all the people in the country. That's why what they did, they stopped it. So the Germans forbade their rulers to make money in this way. But there was no one to stop the Prince of Monaco, and he remained with the monopoly of the business. See, what happened to the rulers of Germany? The people advised the rulers to stop the business. To stop the business, they advised. And the rulers also accepted the suggestion, they stopped the business. But here, what is happening? There is no one to stop the kinglet to stop the business. Okay, no one is advising the kinglet to ban, forbid the gaming house in his country, because these people are depending on the income what the kinglet is paying them, maybe in terms of in the form of salaries. The kinglet is paying all these people, and the kinglet, other than gaming houses, is not having any source, good source to earn money. All are depending on each other. That's why they are not going to stop the business. Therefore, the kinglet is running the business with the monopoly. Okay, is having the monopoly, full control, one man ship. Okay, he is able to run the business because nobody is questioning it, nobody is telling it. He cannot, no one can tell. When people are dependent on kinglet only, how can they advise him? How can they tell him to stop the business? They cannot. That's why he is having the monopoly of the business. So now everyone who wants to gamble goes to Monaco. What the people do? The people from the other countries, neighboring countries of Monaco, they go to Monaco to play the game because it is the only country they can find the gaming houses and they can play the game. It is only place. Nowhere else. None of the neighboring countries have the gaming houses. That's why the people from other countries go to Monaco to play the game. Whether they win or lose, the prince gains by it. As I told you already, that is the strategy. Whether the people win or lose, the keeper, it means the king, both are going to get the money. You can't earn stone palaces by honest labor. There is a saying, there is a proverb. You can't earn stone palaces by honest labor. What does it mean? If you want to build a stone palace, that is not possible through hard work. It needs some smart work. It needs some gambling. He has to follow some illegal practice. He has to earn money through some unfair practice, illegal practice. Whether it is going to benefit the people or others, that is not material for the one who wants to make money. The person who intends to make money will follow all sorts of unwanted, illegal, unacceptable, unethical practices. Ethically, you cannot follow certain thing to build a palace, stone palace. That is the meaning of it. It means here the kinglet is making money one way, that is by taxing on the products, unwanted products, harmful products. On the other side, he is earning the money by allowing a keeper to run the business, that is gaming house. These two are unfair, unethical and unwanted, harmful for everybody, but still he wants to gain money. That's why he is running the business. And the kinglet of Monaco knows it is a dirty business. Of course, special source of revenue what he has got, that is the gaming house in which the people play roulette, that is a dirty business. Dirty business. It is not that only the gaming house is a dirty business. One more thing he points out, but what is he to do? He has to live, and to draw a revenue from drink and from tobacco is also not a nice thing. So he lives and drains in the money and holds his court with all the ceremony of a real king. Okay, he wants to run his country like a good king, a big king, or any like any other king. That is only the intention of this kinglet of Monaco. He knows taxing on the products like tobacco and wine, collecting money from selling tobacco and wine, collecting money from the gaming house. It is a dirty business. He knows that. But what is he to do? He doesn't have any other source of income. He should allow the people to collect the money from any source which is necessary for feeding his people in the palace and also for himself. Okay. But he does everything except this like a king of any other country, and he is ruling. That's why he says, so he lives and reigns in the money and holds his court with all the ceremony of a real king. Just like a real king only, he is doing his business. He is running his country. He has his coronation, okay, his levies, his rewards, sentences and pardons and he also has his reviews, councils, laws and courts of justice just like other kings, only on a smaller scale. If you find any king, what is the nature of the administration in any other kingdom, if you see, there will be lots of things. He will also be having the court, okay, he will be having the palace. In the palace each time there will be coronation. It is nothing but the celebration, coronation. It is nothing but giving the power to run the country. That is the ceremony. That is the celebration during the time of coronation. His levies, it means sometimes he is going to levy the taxes. He is going to collect the money. He is going to increase the taxes. He rewards. For people who are favorable to the king will be given given some rewards. They will be given extra advantages. Sentences. If anybody does a mistake, if anyone commits a mistake, crime, that fellow will be punished. And pardons. If he finds that this fellow is reformed, he must not be given punishment, he will be excused. And he also has his reviews. Reviews may be something related to the law which he has established in the kingdom. He is going to review them. And the financial activities what he is having implemented in this country to collect the money, he is going to review that, how much expenditure and income for the year that he is going to review. Councils. In the council, so many people like courtiers and ministers, bishop, everybody from across the society, across the country, who is there? They are all rational people, so-called rational people, or good people, intelligent people, well-wishers, followers. They are from each category. At least one person will be invited to discuss on certain subjects, to take the decision, to implement for the growth and development of a nation. Such kind of councils will be conducted. If the king wants to bring some rule, if he wants to implement some law, he has to discuss with all the other people in the kingdom. Then only he can implement it. For that, he will call all the people and he will let them to give their opinions. So that is the kind of councils he is going to conduct. He is having his own laws, okay, in the kingdom. What is to be done, what is not to be done, to maintain law, order in the society, is having laws and courts. Courts in the sense, there will be judges. They are going to investigate the crimes and they are going to punish the people who are the offenders. And just like other kings, only on a smaller scale. Everything is there, but everything in a smaller scale. Smaller scale means in smaller way, not a bigger way. He is going to do things. Okay, these are the things will happen in the kingdom, that is monarch. Okay, how the kinglet is running his business is shown as an administrator, as a ruler, that we have got to know. Now, in next topic, we are going to discuss what is the challenge that is going to be faced by the kinglet. Okay, how he is going to handle the situation, how he is going to manage any challenge comes in his way, in the way of administration, that we are going. Okay, now we shall continue with the lesson further. We shall understand what are the things will happen in the country to prove how the king is efficient, moralistic, rational in dealing with a matter. Okay, he has got a challenge. He has to face it. He has to solve the problem. He has to solve the problem with his intelligence. How his men are there to support him, to guide him in the situation he has to face it. He has to encounter the difficulties. Okay. Now it happened a few years ago that a murder was committed in this Toys Prince domain. Okay, a murder has taken place. A person is murdered. A crime has taken place in the Toys kingdom, toy kingdom, that is Monaco. Okay, how it happened, how it is going to be dealt, That we are going to understand as I told you already. The people of the kingdom are peaceable. The people of the kingdom are peaceable. What do you mean by peaceable? They are peace loving. They are good people. They don't harm anybody. They live happily in the society. They live in coordination with mutual respect, with mutual support for each and everyone. Okay? Such kind of people they are. And such a thing had not happened before. Before, in the history of Monaco, no crime had taken place. No murder had taken place. Now it has happened. The judges assembled with much ceremony and tried the case in the most judicial manner. Now, why the murder has taken place? In order to understand, in order to investigate, in order to conduct the inquiry, after that, in order to punish a person who is really a culprit, criminal, offender, they are doing the job of discussion. In the sense, they are conducting a sort of inquiry. So now, they have done it in the most judicial manner. Judges, they are conducting the inquiry in the most judicial manner. Judicial manner means what? How in the court, how the judges should behave, on what basis they have to conduct the inquiry, and on what basis they have to do, they have to take a judgment, they have to pass a decree, the decision, whether it is nothing but imposition of punishment or giving pardon or releasing the so-called accused person as a criminal offender. How to do that? In that manner only they are doing it. There is a law established how to do that, and all. There is a rule. There will be a book of rules that must be followed by the judges. They are doing the same thing in that manner. There were judges and prosecutors and jurymen and barristers. Okay, see that. Who are there in the court? They are judges. Next one is prosecutors. Who are these? They are going to prosecute the case, investigate the case. Before the matter is going to reach to the court, they investigate the matter. Why it happened? Why the incident of murder has taken place? All that thing, impartially they are going to investigate. They are the prosecutors. And there are jurymen. Jurymen means they can give some inputs, some suggestions based on their understanding and findings. Okay, they are jurymen. And barristers. Barristers are lawyers. Okay, they are going to quote what are the laws, what they say, and what decision, on the basis of those laws, what decision must be taken. All these things they are going to present before the judges. Now, they argued and judged, and at last they condemned the criminal to have his head cut off as the law directs. They argued. All the people argued. Prosecutors, barristers, they argued, and finally they decided to give a punishment to cut off the criminal's head. Okay, they decided to cut the head of the criminal. Okay, now so far so good, everything is fine. They discussed, they decided to cut the head. Everything is fine. According to the law only, they have done everything. Now, next they submitted the sentence to the prince. The matter, whatever the judgment they have given, that is taken to the prince for final approval, because it is nothing but a death penalty, death sentence, capital punishment. If you are going to kill the person according to the law, that is nothing but capital punishment. Why it is called as capital punishment? It is nothing but that is the highest punishment anyone can be given for his crime. It is nothing but also a death sentence. Execution of a person. Okay, that is according to the law. Now the matter has been taken to the prince because it should be approved by the prince. He is the highest authority in the administration, in the kingdom. He is the king of the country. He must approve the capital punishment that must be given to the criminal. That's why the matter is taken to the prince. The prince read the sentence and confirmed it. If the fellow must be executed, execute him. That is what he said. Go on, proceed, do it. If he is really worth of getting the capital punishment, if he has done such a heinous crime, then he must be executed. Okay, let him be executed. That is what he said. There was only one hitch in the matter. There was only one hitch. Hitch in the sense, it is nothing but a problem. Okay, what is the problem that we have considered? That was that they had neither a guillotine for cutting heads off nor an execution. If the fellow's head must be cut, then they need a sort of equipment. Okay, that equipment is called as guillotine. Okay, this is not with the prince. The prince is not having the machine. It is a kind of machine that will be used for cutting the criminal's head. And they need one more person, that is executioner. He is nothing but executioner. It is nothing but one who is going to operate that machine, guillotine, is called as executioner. He does only the job of operating this machine. This machine is only be used for imposing the death sentence. That is nothing but cutting of the head. Okay. So such a task it is. Both are needed for the prince. Both are not there with the prince. In the entire kingdom, in Monaco, there is no guillotine and an execution. Now, the ministers considered the matter and decided to address an inquiry to the French government, asking whether the French could not lend them a machine and an expert to cut off the criminal's head. And if so, would the French kindly inform them what it would cost? See that. Since they did not have both of them, all the council of ministers decided to write a letter to the French government asking them to supply a guillotine and an executioner. Okay, council of ministers, now they have discussed and they have decided to write a letter. What is the matter in the letter? They are asking the French government. They are asking the French government to supply a guillotine and an executioner. If they are ready to supply both of them, what is the cost? What is the cost of guillotine and an executioner? That also they have requested. They have sent a letter. The letter is reached to the French government. Okay, now a week later, the reply came. After 1 week, they received back the reply. One more letter has come from French government to the monarch, that is the kinglet of Monaco. Now, in the letter they have mentioned a machine and an expert could be supplied. Yes, we are ready to supply. to supply both of them, what they have said, and the cost would be 16,000 francs. What is the cost? 16,000 francs. The cost of guillotine and executioner is 16,000 francs. That is what the French government has mentioned in the letter. Now, the letter, the matter, the decision, the reply of the French government is taken to the prince. This was laid before the king. He thought it over. Now he is thinking whether to spend 16,000 francs on the criminal to cut his head off or not. Is it worth? If at all, if it is worth, how to arrange that money? Because he doesn't have 16,000 francs. It is a huge sum for the kingdom. He is thinking about taking the decision to import a guillotine and an executioner. Now, he is saying 16,000 francs. The wretch is not worth the money. The wretch, the criminal. The wretch is nothing but the criminal is not worth of the money that is supposed to be spent for killing him. That 16,000 and the wretch, the criminal, if both are compared, always the 16,000 francs, that money is too high, too unimaginable to spend for executing the person. That is what the king says. Can't it be done somehow cheaper? He is asking the council of ministers. Can't it be done somehow cheaper? It means he is asking to find a way to get that. If you want to impose the capital punishment, is there any other way to do that? It means he is saying that let us forget about this. Let us not spend 16,000 francs for cutting the criminal's head. We cannot. It is not affordable. That fellow is not worth of that money. Can't it be done somehow cheaper? Let us find a way which is going to be cheaper for executing the person. Why 16,000 francs is more than 2 francs a head on the whole population? In the entire country, how many people are there? 7,000 people are there. The population of Monaco is nothing but 7,000. Okay. If they try to collect 16,000 francs, they have to impose tax on each and every person of that country. If they impose 2 francs also, it will become 14,000 francs. It means they have to impose more than 2 francs. More than 2 francs, they have to levy the tax on each and every person to collect to make it 16,000. Okay, otherwise they cannot do it. They cannot arrange the money for getting the guillotine and an executioner. That's why he said, the people won't stand. If he had imposed a law in order to collect 2 francs per head, all the people of the country cannot bear that money, bear that tax, cannot pay that tax to the kingdom. What is going to happen if they cannot? They revolt, they oppose, they protest. Ultimately it is going to cause what? And it may cause riot. It may cause riot. All the people will protest against the king only. They will not agree with the king. If the people oppose the king, when the people oppose the king must be able to withstand it. He is having only 16 men in his army. 60 soldiers are there. All these 60 soldiers cannot control 7,000 people. Even if he has used the arms or ammunitions, again it is expensive for the king. Now the king is applying his rationality. Of course, we know that he is not having morality because he is collecting the money from the illegal sources, like playing the game called roulette in the gaming house, and he is collecting the taxes on products like tobacco and wine. They are all unworthy, harmful to the society. Still, he is making money through it in order to run his show in the country. When it is so, now again he should not do one more experiment in the way of collecting 2 plus francs per head in order to arrange the money for getting the guillotine and executioner. So a council was called to consider what could be done. Now again, the council of many ministers and others were called. They are called to discuss how to do it in a better way, cheaper way, to manage or to impose the judgment which is given by the judges, that is capital punishment for the criminal. And it was decided to send a similar inquiry to the King of Italy. Now, the French government told it is 16,000 francs. Now, they want to ask a different country, that is Italian government. They want to ask the Italian government. The same inquiry they are sending into Italy. In fact, this Italy is being ruled by a king. Okay, that is one advantage. The French government is a republican and has no proper respect for the king. It is a republican government. It means it is an elected government. Maybe it is something like democracy. They won't have respect for any other kings. Okay, because it is an elected government. Here it is unlike the situation in French. It is being ruled by a king. Certainly they will have respect for the other kings. King will have respect for other kings. In democracy, one democratic country will have respect for another democratic country, but not for the monarchs. Okay. Now, but the king of Italy was a brother monarch and might be used to do the thing cheaper, so the letter was written and a prompt reply was written. So having thought that the Italian government is under the control of a king, certainly he will have a respect for another king, thinking that he is a brother monarch. They sent a letter to the Italian government asking to send a guillotine and an executioner if they are ready to, if they can supply both of them, if they can send them, what would be the cost. That kind of letter they wrote to the Italian government. They thought that the king is going to do something cheaper because he will have respect for any other king. The Italian government wrote that they would have pleasure in supplying both a machine and an expert, and the whole cost would be 12,000 francs, including travel expenses. What did the letter of Italian government brought back? What is the reply from the Italian government? They are very happy to supply both of them, but the cost would be 12,000 francs. Okay. Now, this is somehow cheaper. This expenditure is including the cost of guillotine and expert and the travel expenses. Okay. Including the travel expenses, they are charging 12,000 francs. Of course, 4,000 francs they are going to save now. How much? 4,000 francs they are going to save. This was cheaper, but still it seemed too much for the king. Again it is too much. Again he cannot spend so much money on the criminal. Anyway, to arrange whether it is 16,000 or 12,000, he has to collect the money from the people only by taxing. Now, earlier it was more than 2 francs per person. Now, maybe it is less than 2 francs per person. Anyway, he has to collect the money from the people only in order to carry out the capital punishment. There is no other option for him. The rascal was really not worth the money. Even if it is 12,000, that criminal who has killed a person, who has committed a murder in the country is not worth the money. He made the king very angry. The judgment of the judges, the decision of the judges to impose the capital punishment made the king very angry. That's why he says rascal. Okay, he is scolding, he is cursing the criminal. It would still mean nearly 2 francs more per head on the taxes. He says it is 2 francs, nearly 2 francs. Maybe it is lesser than the 2 francs per person if they have to arrange that money. Another council was called. Once again, he called all his men to discuss about the issue to solve it. They discussed and considered how it could be done with less expense. All the discussion is around the subject of imposing the capital punishment in a very cheaper way. Okay, how to carry out the death penalty in a cheaper way. That is the discussion they are doing. For that, all the members of the administration, they are involving in. Could not one of the soldiers, they discussed and considered how it could be done with less expense. Could not one of the soldiers perhaps be got to do it in a rough and homely fashion? Okay, now what they are doing in the council, in the meeting, all the people like ministers, courtiers, bishop, the general, all the people, what did they discuss? What did they decide? They decided to find a person in their own country to do the death penalty, to impose the death penalty, to execute the criminal. Now they are trying to find a person from the army. There are so many soldiers, 60 soldiers are there in the army. They are thinking to find a person from this group. That's why they call the general, to identify a soldier to do the death penalty, to execute the death penalty for the murder. The general was called and asked, can't you find us a soldier who would cut the man's head off? They told the general to find a soldier who can do the job. In war, they don't mind killing people. They also add some supporting thoughts. What is that? In the war, these soldiers anyway they are going to kill the people. Their job is only to kill the people. Anybody who is going to threaten the security of a nation, they do it. They kill the person. Okay? They don't mind killing the person who is going to threaten the security of a nation. In that case, anyone can do the job of imposing the carrying out the capital punishment. That is the idea they mentioned, they gave. In fact, that is what they are trained for. So the general talked it over with the soldiers to see whether one of them would not undertake the job. Now the general has gone to the soldiers, he discussed with them, he asked any one of them to do the job. Okay, but none of the soldiers would do it. No, they said, we don't know how to do it. it is not a thing we have been taught. What did the soldiers say? No, we can't do it because we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to do it. That is one thing. And also they said they were not trained for killing a person inside the country. They are not trained for it. They are not trained for it. They are trained for killing the people only in the border. Okay. A person from other countries, if they try to attack, they will kill. But any civilian within the country, they don't do it. They don't know. They are not trained for it. Their job is to protect the nation, not to kill the person inside the country, because they are protecting the nation only because of these civilians who are there inside the country. They cannot go against their ethics. It is unethical. It is opposite to their will, wish, ethics. Okay, that's why they said it is not possible. What was to be done? Now the council again, they are discussing. In the council, all the ministers and others, they are discussing. They discuss what was to be done. Again the ministers considered and reconsidered. All the ministers have gathered and they are discussing what to do. Okay, discussing. Again and again they are discussing about the same subject. And one of them might have suggested, they assembled a commission and a committee, a subcommittee. Okay, they formed a committee and a subcommittee to support them, to give the ideas, the best ideas to do, to manage the affair. That is nothing but carrying out the death penalty as per the judgment given by the judges for the murder. And at last they decided that the best thing would be to alter the death sentence to one of imprisonment for life. This would enable the prince to show his mercy and it would come cheaper. Now, someone suggested that let us change the death penalty, death sentence into life imprisonment. What is the difference between life imprisonment and death sentence? In the death sentence, a person is going to be killed at once. They will cut, they will hang, they will do something to make him die immediately. In one go, they carry out the task. They finish off. If they change the death sentence into life imprisonment, what will be the thing? How it is going to be different? The same criminal will be kept in a locker. It is not lifetime. Only he will be kept inside the cell. He will be made to die inside the cell only. They are not going to kill. He will be given food, everything, including accommodation. It is nothing but, cell is nothing but, it is an accommodation where he will be given, where he will be served the food as well. And other facilities also should be given to a criminal, a prisoner who is in the cell under the life imprisonment. That is a punishment. Okay, he has to be there in the cell for his entire life. He should not go out. That is the ultimate thing that is going to happen in the life imprisonment. Here, the person is going to be killed at once. He will be made to die himself. He has to be kept in the cell. Now, they have to think about it. What is the cost of death sentence? At least it is 12,000 francs. But this is not known, not clear either for the ministers or for the king. when the matter was discussed in the committee, subcommittee, council, they decided to change from death sentence to life imprisonment. Why? Because they did not have guillotine or an executioner. But only to escape that, they changed the matter to life imprisonment. They are not thinking what is the cost of life imprisonment. That is also there. But when they are suggesting, when they are thinking, when they are discussing, the ultimate result of it is only to escape from the expenditure. And another thing they are mentioning, anyway, it is going to help the king to show his mercy for the criminal. Is it the best idea to show mercy to a criminal? One day, that same criminal can be a more harmful for the entire nation. Each time he can attempt to kill one person, because he comes to know that these people can't do anything. He can do anything for the others, having thought that he become a dangerous person in that case. But according to them, they are going to put him in the cell by imposing the life imprisonment. The prince agreed to this. What sort of king we are seeing? Imagine, the prince agreed to this, and so the matter was arranged. Okay, you do it, he said. He gave his permission. The only hitch now was that there was no suitable prison for a man sentenced for death. See that? Again they have a problem. They don't have a prison. They don't have a prison in order to keep the criminals for lifetime. Lifetime means how many years? Maybe 50 years, 100 years. We don't know how long a person, a criminal can survive in the cell, in the prison. That is uncertain. Anyway, they are not going to kill him. He will leave him to die. Till his death, he has to be kept in the cell. Such a prison is not there in the entire kingdom. That is the hitch. Now, how they are going to do? There was a small lockup where people were sometimes kept temporarily, but there was no strong prison fit for permanent use. Imagine, there is a small lockup. A small lockup is there. It is something like prison, but not a prison. It is not a strong prison. Why they need a strong prison? Because the criminal, when he is kept in that prison, he must stay there. He should not try to escape. If it is weak, if it is not strong, he will escape. He will try to escape the life imprisonment also. That time, again, it is a task of the entire administration to control him, catch him, bring him, put him in the jail. It is again expensive. That's why they are having a problem. But they have a small lockup that is used only for keeping the petty criminals temporarily. Now, however, they managed to find a place that would do, and they put the young fellow there and placed a guard over him. Now, what they did, finally they decided to keep that fellow in that small lockup only behind the palace. They appointed a guard over him to look after the prisoner. They appointed a guard. Now, that guard had to watch the criminal and had also to fetch his food from the palace kitchen. What is the duty of this guard? One is to look after the criminal, and the second thing, he has to fetch the food from the palace kitchen. He has to fetch the food from the palace kitchen. That is not for himself, that is for the criminal. So now, this is the thing will go on further. How it will be, what is the experience, what is the consequence of this decision, now we are going to understand. The prisoner remained there month after month till a year had passed. Now, 1 year is over. 1 year is over. That is from the day one, who is from the day one, nothing but the prisoner is kept in the jail. Okay, from the day one, it is 1 year over. Okay. But when a year had passed, the king, looking over the account of his income and expenditure, one day noticed a new item of expenditure. After 1 year, what he is going to do? The king has taken his accounts book. It is the record to show the income and expenditure for that year. Okay. When he was observing that book of accounts, that record, he observed a new item of expenditure. New item of expenditure. What is that new item of expenditure? We have to see. This was for the keep of the criminal, nor was it a small item either. It is for the maintenance of the criminal in the prison. Okay. It is not a small item. It is not a small item. It is a very big amount. There was a special guard and there was also a man's food. It came to more than 600 francs a year. What is the new item of expenditure? That is for the keep of the prisoner inside the prison and for maintaining the guard. Its salary and food, everything is included. Totally, it has come up to 600 francs per year, for that year. Okay. And the worst of it was that the fellow was still young and healthy. Imagine, this is another crucial thing to decide. The criminal is still young and healthy. Okay. 1 year is over. He has spent a lot of money. That is a new item. So far they did not have such kind of expenditure in their kingdom. The criminal's food is included. The guard salary and food is included. It has come up to 600 francs. And another important worrying thing is that he may live for many years. That is worrying the king. And he might live for 50 years. See that? 50 years. 600 francs they have spent for that year. He may live for another 50 years. That is going to become how much? 30,000 francs. The total cost by the time he is going to die, after his death, in total they would have spent, they are going to spend 30,000 francs if he survives for 50 years. That is worrying the king. When one came to recall it out, the matter was serious. It would never do. So the prince summoned his ministers and said to them, "You must find some cheaper way of dealing with this rascal." Okay. When he understood that they are going to spend 30,000 francs in his lifetime to maintain him in the prison for his lifetime, it would be too much expensive. That's why he called his ministers and told them to deal the matter in a cheaper way once again. Okay. Now, they are going to discuss about that. You must find some cheaper way of dealing with this rascal. The present plan is too expensive. And the ministers met and considered and reconsidered till one of them said, "Gentlemen, in my opinion, we must dismiss the guard." But then rejoined another minister, "The fellow will run away." "Well," said the first speaker, "let him run away and be hanged to him." So they reported the result of the deliberations to the kinglet, and he agreed them. Okay. Now, when they understood that they have to spend more than 30,000 francs for his lifetime to keep him in the jail and to feed him, they started to discuss about it. They started to find a cheaper way of dealing with the criminal. When they discussed, one of them said that let us remove the guard. One of them said that let us remove the guard. Let us remove the guard. First person said that. And the next person added that if we remove the guard, the fellow is going to run away. Fellow is going to run away. How? He will come to see that the criminal is going to come to know that the guard is not there. Why the guard is appointed? He should see to that he is not going to escape from the prison because he is undergoing the life imprisonment punishment. During that time, he should be there only. Okay. So the guard has to see to that. He should not let him go away, let him run away. If that happens, he should report to the king. That is the idea behind it. It is also that he is getting the food for the criminal from the palace kitchen. That is an additional duty, service he has to do. But the main thing is he has to see to that he should not run away from the criminal, from the jail. But now, according to the deliberations, discussions, which is carried out by the ministers and other people, according to their discussion, according to their decision, they said, let us remove the guard. If we remove the guard, the criminal is going to run away. That is their expectation. If they remove the guard, he is going to run away from the prison. That is their expectation. And another person said that let him run away and let us be hanged to him. Let us be hanged to him means we should make him run away from the prison. Okay. So they wanted to throw him out of the country somehow. That is their idea behind it, because they cannot spend too much money for maintaining that fellow. When they discussed that, when they arrived at such decision, they went and reported the same to the king. The guard was dismissed. According to the decision, they have removed the guard. Now the guard is not there. Only the criminal is in the prison. And they waited to see what would happen. All the people like ministers, barristers, anybody who are under the king to manage the affairs of the kingdom, they are all watching and they are expecting, they are seeing that what is going to happen. According to them, according to their expectation, he must run away. That should happen. To happen that, they are waiting. They are seeing. Okay. All that happened was that at dinner time, the criminal came out and not finding his guard, he went to the palace kitchen to fetch his own dinner. He took what was given him, returned to the prison, shut the door on himself and stayed inside. Okay. Now the criminal waited till the dinner time. Okay. He doesn't know that the guard is removed. Usually, time to time, he used to get the food. That food was coming from the palace kitchen. He did not mind what is going to happen, but he stayed comfortably in the prison. Now the guard is removed. That is also not known to him. He came out at the dinner time because the dinner has not come as per the time. Okay. To the correct time, the dinner has not been brought by the God to him. To see that why he has not got the dinner, he came to the door and he saw that there was no God at all. When he saw that there was no God, what should he do? He took his utensil, maybe a plate or something else. He went to the palace kitchen, he got his food, he came back and he went inside the prison. He shut the door on himself and he stayed there. So this is what happened. Whatever the ministers expected, it did not happen accordingly. It happened oppositely. It means he did not run away when he came to know that there was no God at all. Straight away, he went to the palace kitchen, got his food, he came back and he stayed there inside comfortably. Next day, the same thing occurred. Next day also same thing occurred. Okay, first time he did not run away, fine. But still they are seeing that he is going to run away at least the next day. Next day also he did the same thing. He went to the palace kitchen, he collected his food and he went inside the prison. He stayed there. He went for his food at the proper time. But as for running away, he did not show the least sign of it. Every time he used to go to the palace kitchen at the proper time, exact time, dinner time, lunch time, in the morning for breakfast, exactly to the time he used to go to the palace kitchen and he was getting the food and he was staying comfortably. But he did not show any sign of running away. Any sign of running away from the prison, he did not show. Okay, this is opposite to the expectation of the administrative officers. Okay, that is ministers and other people. Now, what was to be done? All the people are thinking what was to be done. They considered the matter again and again they started to discuss what should be done. Okay, how to deal the matter with this fellow. This fellow is not showing any sign of running away from the prison. What to do? How to send him out? They are thinking. We shall have to tell him straight out. See, one of them or all of them agreed to the fact that they have to tell the person directly, straight out, directly. Okay? They decided, let us tell him straight away to run away or to go away from the prison. Said they that we do not want to keep him. What did they want to tell him? They did not want to keep that fellow. Want to keep. Did not want to keep that fellow in the prison. That is what they wanted to tell him straight. Now, so the Minister of Justice had him brought before him. There is a minister for looking after the affairs related to judiciary. That fellow told some of his people to bring it to his office. The Minister of Justice told his men to bring it. Now they have brought it. The criminal is standing before the minister. What the minister is going to tell? They have already discussed about. Tell him straight out that they did not want to keep him in the prison. Now, why do you not run away? Said the minister. This fellow, the Minister for Justice, is asking the criminal, why do you not run away? We have given enough opportunity to run away. Why do you not show any sign of running away from the prison? For that matter only, we have removed the God. There is no God to keep you, he said. The minister said that there is no God to keep. No God. We don't have. And you can go where you like. If you like some place, you can go. Wherever you want to go, you can go. That is what the minister said. And the prince will not mind. This is very important. Don't worry, the prince is not going to bother about you. He will not mind at all. You can run away. Even if you run away, he doesn't send anyone behind you to catch. That is what the minister said. The prince will not mind. Do not mind if he runs away from the prison. Now, what does the criminal is going to reply for that? The minister has told straight away to run away from the prison because they don't have anyone to keep him. The guard is not there and the prince is not going to mind. He can go anywhere. All these things the minister has told. Now, the criminal is going to a fitting reply for that. He is dare enough. He knows the weakness of the king. He has understood that they were not capable of doing anything to him. First time they imposed a death penalty. Next time they changed it to life imprisonment. Nothing they could do it. They also have their own internal problems, mainly related to finance. Having understood that, he is going to speak now. What does he speak? I dare say the prince would not mind. I know that prince is not going to mind. I am not scared at all what he is going to mind, and also I know that the prince is not going to mind at all. Replied the man, but I have nowhere to go. First condition is, first thing what he said, I have nowhere to go. The minister told him to go anywhere he likes. Well, anywhere he liked. But now he is saying that I have nowhere to go. There is no place for me to go. I have to stay here only. What can I do? Even if I run away, by running away from this place, what can I do? I cannot do anything. What can I do? Second thing. Third thing. You have ruined my character by your sentence and people will turn their backs on me. The third thing is, they have ruined his character. Ruined his character. It means after he committed the murder, they carried out the inquiry in the most judicial manner. They imposed the death penalty, having thought that, having felt that, having decided that he was the true criminal, he has committed an heinous crime, so that he must be punished with capital punishment, because he is guilty of and he is worth of capital punishment. Okay, that is how they have ruined his character. It is spoiled. The character is spoiled. Nobody is going to give him respect. That is what happened. And another thing is, the people are going to turn their backs on him. People turn their backs. It means the people are not going to give him respect. They don't care about him. Because he was there in the prison. He was a criminal. They don't give him respect. They don't give him job. They don't give him any kind of they don't show any kind of kindness. They don't help him. They just show their backs on him. This is what he said for the fourth time. And another thing, you have treated me badly. Okay, sorry. Besides, I have got out of the way of working. Another point he mentioned is, I have got out of the way of working. Got out of the way of working. It means he has become lazy. Since how long he is there in the prison? Since the day he committed the murder, he is there in the prison. Quite for some time he was there in the lockup till the judicial inquiry was conducted, and after that till they changed the death penalty into life imprisonment, he was there. After again they changed the death penalty into life imprisonment. During the term of life imprisonment he was there. Totally more than 1 year he was there in the prison. During that time he has not worked at all. Always he spent his time only by eating and sleeping. He has not showed any activeness. He was not active at all. He has become totally lazy. He cannot work. He has forgotten the way of working. Now he is saying that I have got out of the way of working. Now you have treated me badly. Another thing he says that treated me very badly. How? That is going to be explained now. It is not fair. In the first place, when once you sentence me to death, you ought to have executed me. But you did not do it. That is one thing. I did not complain about that. First, immediately after they understood that he has committed the murder, they imposed the death penalty, but they did not carry out the death sentence. Okay, by imposing death sentence and by not carrying out the death sentence, they did a mistake. They should have done it. If at all, if he was eligible for worthy of death sentence, they must have they must have carried out the death sentence. It means they must have executed it. They did not do it. When they did not do it, he is saying that he did not complain. He did not complain about it. He did not ask them to carry out the death sentence because they have imposed it. That is what he says. First time you imposed the death sentence, then also you did not carry out the death sentence. Even then I did not complain. Okay, this is one allegation he is making. Next thing is, then you sentenced me to imprisonment for life, and put a guard to bring me my food, but after a time you took him away again and I had to fetch my own food. Again I did not complain. See that? You change, when you could not carry out the death sentence, they changed to life term. Okay, life term. They appointed a guard to get his food from the kitchen. Now they have removed the guard. There is no guard at all. He has to go himself to get the food from the palace kitchen. Though it is a task for the prisoner is saying that he did not complain at all. First time when they did not carry out the death sentence, he did not say anything. Next time they changed to life imprisonment. That time also he did not say anything. They appointed a guard to get his food for him from the kitchen. After that they removed the guard. Even then he did not complain. Like this, series of allegations he made on the people of the kinglet. Now he is saying that, but now you actually want me to go away. I can't agree to that. You may do as you like, but I won't go away. Straight away, he told the administration that is the Minister of Justice, to do whatever they want. He did not want to go away from the prison or the country. He told them to do whatever they want, but he was not ready to go out of the country or the prison. What was to be done? Again they are thinking. This fellow is showing some kind of threat to the entire country itself. All of them are worrying. All of them are worried. They are discussing. They are thinking what to do. Once more the council was summoned. Again the ministers joined together. Council means it is a group of ministers. Group of ministers will be called as a council. All the ministers have joined to discuss about the issue. What course could they adopt? They are discussing. The man would not go. When he is not going away, what to do? What course, easy course to handle the situation can be adopted? They are thinking. They reflected and considered. They discussed. They put all their mind, all their intelligence, all their rationality, they applied and they tried to get the solution for the problem. The only way to get rid of him was to offer him a pension. Someone said, someone arrived at some conclusion, some solution. What is that? Let us give him pension to throw out of the country and prison. Let us offer him pension to get rid of him from the prison and country. That is the only way, final conclusion, that is what they arrived at. And so they reported to the prince. Whatever they discussed, that is to offer him the pension, they informed to the king. There is nothing else for it, said they. We must get rid of him somehow. Okay, we can't do anything. There is no other option. Let us give him pension and throw him out of the country by any way, by any man, by any method. The sum fixed was 600 francs. How much to give? They decided to give him 600 francs as pension. Earlier, when he was in the jail, when he was undergoing the life imprisonment, for 1 year, they had spent 600 francs. That was including the guards' salary and the criminal's food, everything. Now they have decided to give pension to send him out of the country. That is again 600 francs. Okay, to a criminal to give pension, if there is any country, that is only Monaco. That is what the king let prove himself in front of the entire world. And this was announced to the prisoner. This was announced to the prisoner. So now all the people, the council, the minister, they went to the prisoner, or the prisoner was brought before them, and they informed that they would offer him a pension of 600 francs per annum, and he must go away. He must go away by accepting it. When they informed it, well, said he, I don't mind so long as you undertake to pay it regularly. He also accepted it. If you are paying me the pension regularly without causing any disturbance, without stopping, without coming to a different decision, I will be ready to go away from the country. If you are paying regularly, I will be ready to stay away from the country. I will go out of the jail. That is what he agreed. On that condition, I am willing to go. So the matter was settled. They think that the matter is settled. For as long as this fellow is alive, they have to give him 600 francs for the crime he has done This is the failure of a king. When he cannot manage one fellow, one criminal, how can he be considered as a king? How can we accept him as a ruler? He received 1/3 of his annuity in advance. So out of 600 francs, he collected 1/3. It means that is equal to 150 francs. In advance, he collected that money and he left the country and left the king's dominions. It was only a quarter of an hour by rail. So how far he went? Only 15 minutes away from the palace. So if he had taken a rail by train, if he had gone, it was taking only 15 minutes to travel that distance. That far he went, and he bought and he emigrated and settled just across the frontier, just at the borders of Monaco. Just at the borders of Monaco, this criminal went and settled, where he bought a bit of land. He bought a piece of land. Bit of land means piece of land. He purchased. Then he started market gardening. What do you mean by market gardening? He started to cultivate some crops that used to be sold in the market. That is called as market gardening. You cultivate a crop, you get some produce, you take it to the market and you sell it. Okay, that kind of agriculture is nothing but market gardening. That is what he started in the bit of land what he purchased with the help of this 150 francs. That is towards his annual pension. Okay. Now lives comfortably. See that. To live comfortably, if one can commit a murder, that is going to be that is going to be practiced by everybody. Everybody will follow the same thing. At least one murder, if one commits, he is going to get settled in his lifetime means what the people can't do, they do it. So that is what this story tells. This is against the morality of the society. The king is immoral because he was also earning the money from the taxes and from the gaming house. The people used to lose the hard-earned money for the sake of the kingdom. He was getting the money from the people by illegal means, unlawful means, harmful. It is to the society. Despite of that, despite of knowing that it is a dirty business, still he was continuing to collect the money from the bad businesses. He knew that no one can build stone palaces through hard labor, but it is unfair. He was doing unfair practice. For that he is paying the fine. The criminal made him to pay unnecessarily the fine for him, for having caught him, put him in the jail, imposed the death penalty and then changed it to life imprisonment. Now he has to pay him regularly 600 francs every year. Having collected that money, the criminal is leading his life just across the frontier, just next to the borders of his country. Comfortably he is living. Okay. He always goes at the proper time to draw his pension. What he does regularly at the proper time, he goes to collect his pension. He doesn't miss. He will go. Having received it, he goes to the gaming tables. stays 2 or 3 friends. Sometimes wins, sometimes loses, and then returns home. He lives peaceably and well. So regularly he goes to the palace. He collects his pension. After collecting the pension, he goes to the gaming table. Okay, goes to the gaming house where he will stake 2 or 3 francs. Whether he is going to win or lose, he doesn't mind. He will return back to he will return to his place where he used to cultivate the market gardening on a bit of land just across the frontier, and he is living peacefully. Okay, so that is the kind of routine then onwards happened, started for the criminal. It is a good thing that he did not commit his crime in a country where they do not grudge expense to cut a man's head off or to keep him in prison for life. See that the criminal then onwards, he did not do any harm to the country. That is to Monaco. He is not doing any harm because they did not spend money. They did not spend money to carry out the death penalty or to keep him for the lifetime in the prison. They left him free. In such a country, he did not do any sort of harm. Then onwards, he became good. He became good for the nation, that is Monaco. How he has become good? By getting 600 francs. Okay. So this is how it happened in the country Monaco. It is a toy kingdom where they are not in a good condition to manage a criminal. Each time they made up their mind to change their decisions in order to control him, in order to manage him, but finally they failed utterly. Okay, because they were not capable of managing him. They were not capable of facing even a small challenge. Okay, so this is what the story of 2 deer. The criminal became very expensive in a country, in a small country. Okay, the decision of the kinglet is also too much expensive. If he had been capable of carrying out his decision, it would not have been so. Even if it was too expensive to carry out the death sentence on him, he should have done it to prove himself in that situation. That man's capacity, rationality, morality, intelligence, everything will be proved only under difficult circumstances, situations, because that is an opportunity to prove them. Okay? Oh, fine. Thank you.